Hello everyone, hope you're having a lovely day so far, and welcome to the NRL channel. And today I'll be predicting the 2025 NRL finals, and let's see who I believe the 2025 premiers will be. So let's kick it off. We're talking about the first game of the qualifying final between the Raiders and the Broncos. As you can see, I've gone with the Raiders to get the win here. I think that's more of an obvious choice. The Broncos, obviously, they're going to miss players due to injury in this first game, and that could cost them a lot. The Raiders look dominant and look like a favourite to go on to at least make it to the grand final. The Broncos can definitely end up doing something, but for now, I do go with a Raiders win. We'll go to the elimination final now, where the Sharks with the Roosters take on each other at Shark Park, and I'm going with the Cronulla Sharks. I think this could be a decent finals for them, and I just don't believe the 8th place Roosters have got enough to go and get far in the finals. But I know there's a lot of people who would argue that the Roosters would at least win this game. We're going to the final elimination final, which is actually between the Wars and the Penrith Panthers, and I think I had to go with Panthers here. If I went with the Warriors, I feel like it would be a massive shock, and I just feel like it's probably not going to happen, and Penrith are just that much better team with so much finals experience. But yeah, I think they'll win. Then the final game of that kind of round is another qualifying final, which is between the Storm and the Bulldogs, and as you can see, I've gone with the Storm to get the win. No really any hate to the Bulldogs, but I think the Storm is just going to be a dominant team, even with the injury of the key players. I still think they'll be able to fight through it and win this game, but Bulldogs putting up a good effort. This is what it looks like for now. So for the semi 1, the Broncos and the Sharks, and then semi 2 would be Penrith and the Bulldogs, with the Raiders and the Storm already through to the prelim, with the Roosters and the Wars out. We'll go over to the semi 1, where I've gone with the shocking win of the Cronulla Sharks to beat the Broncos. I think, as I said, it would be a massive shock if the Cronulla Sharks were able to do this, and if they do end up doing it. But I believe these two teams are quite equal throughout the season, and people are talking about, oh, the Broncos have a chance maybe to go win a premiership here. I think the Sharks have a really good opportunity, and probably want to, even though I'm a Parramatta fan, and obviously win on the finals, I'm kind of rooting for the Sharks to go on and win the premiership. But yeah, it'll be a hard game, it'll be a great game, but I do think the Sharks will win. We'll go to the second semi, which is between the Penrith Panthers and the Bulldogs, and I've gone with another shock win, you could say, where Penrith's run of winning the premierships has ended with them getting knocked out by the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. I feel like they could do brilliantly, and they're definitely one of the favourites to go and win the premiership. I think they'll be able to beat Penrith. Okay, so now we've got this kind of all ready, and we've got 2 prelims to decide who gets into my grand final. It's between the Raiders and the Bulldogs, first versus third. A big game. People could argue that that's what it was expected to be, the battle for the minor premiership, and it kind of was for most that season. And then you have the Cronulla Sharks take on the Melbourne Storm. I would say the Storm are maybe more favourites than the Raiders, genuinely. That's how I think everyone thinks they're going to win. But let's see what I put. So we're going to keep this one with the Raiders and the Bulldogs, and what a game it will be. I think it'll probably be one of the best games of the finals, but I think the Raiders will win. This could be one of the Raiders' years, or at least a really close to one, winning the minor premiership, looking like one of the most dominant teams in the league. The Bulldogs will put up a great effort, but 2 teams who are really close at multiple times in this season. I think it'll go down, and Canberra will win. Prelim 2, yeah, unfortunately the run for Cronulla ends, in my opinion here. I think, yeah, honestly, if they're able to do that, they should be incredibly proud of themselves. But look at the Storm, that team is incredible, even with injuries, and yeah, I think definitely one of the favourites, and that's why I've gone with them to win. But now, this is all and done. So now we are down to the grand final. 2 teams left. I think it's what most people predicted to have in the grand final, and that's between the Raiders and the Storm. So, yeah, as you can see, I've gone with the Melbourne Storm to win the NRL grand final in the year 2025. I think there'd be so many people who wouldn't be super shocked about this, but I think a bit disappointed. I feel like we need to see someone who doesn't usually win it, maybe a Bulldogs or obviously Canberra, maybe Cronulla, the Broncos. It's a team who wasn't expected to win it to go on and win it, but I think it will be the Storm. And I was really tempted to think and put Penrith in this grand final as well, but yeah, I'm going with the Storm to win. I think it's probably the best shot and the one I'll probably get right, but I do hope it's either Cronulla or Canberra who win. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see if this gets right, and I will look back over it next week after round 1 of the finals have finished. But anyway, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.